All right, so enough with the funny stuff because, look, Mizuno, first of all, let's talk about the pedigree and the history of Mizuno, because I think with most international companies, right, you have to go back and you have to tell a story that probably didn't start in golf, probably didn't start in volleyball. So, Chris, why don't we do the quick version to bring us up to speed to just how big Mizuno is and why this big push into golf was so meaningful and so important?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, Mizuno goes back a long ways. 1906 is when it got founded. Rihachi Mizuno, Japanese guy, about 5'6", was a big baseball player. He and his brother started a sporting goods store in Osaka, Japan, and with that, they wanted to kind of, I'd say, revolutionized the way baseball was tested. And one of the great stories about him was in their baseball store, he actually devised a method to measure the COR of a ball, of dropping it from a certain height, how high could that ball bounce back. And that was kind of the start of, not only are we selling equipment, but we can make and improve equipment from there.
Wow.
So with that was 1906, that was baseball. Mizuno then has come a long way. That was a small store in Osaka, Japan. And now we're international in basically every sport you can imagine.
Yeah.
You watch the Olympics, huge in the Olympics. You'll see the curling team wearing Mizuno Runbirds on their shirts. Swimwear, got some of the most competitive stuff in the world. And obviously we're here because we are on the golf side. And to a golfer, I don't think there's anything better than a Mizuno golf club.
Yeah, and I think my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but that was always the core of it, right? The modernizing and the equipment. It wasn't so much the lifestyle brand that you see with a lot of these streetwear brands and the manufacturers. It was more making things better, and it was the technology and the improvement, which was so ahead of its curve. I mean, I just listened to a podcast about, I don't know, it was Adidas and Puma were brothers in Germany, and they had a falling out, and they went different ways, and one was more this. So it's amazing that all of these things really first started as a problem for a solution for a problem, right? Hey, the equipment's great, the players aren't getting any better. How do we tweak the equipment to make these kids better?
That's exactly right, and that's what's so cool about Mizuno. And we are very much an engineering company. You look at the history of us, what we've done with revolutionizing the COR of a baseball, creating gliders and stuff. Competitive gliders was going back in the day, stuff we did. But then implementing new processes on the manufacturing side across all different sports is something that we really, hang our hat on.
Yeah, and we're going to come back to that, especially on golf. Brad, I'm going to turn it over to you. So talk a little bit about the evolution of golf. Obviously, we can do like everybody and just start with Tiger and go from there, because that's pretty much the story of modern golf. But talk more about the past 10 years. Talk about the rise of kind of the casual golfer. Talk about COVID, getting people out and playing. Talk about how we got to the point where it was so important for Mizuno to kind of stamp this flag in Atlanta and in the country.